Hey there, and welcome to the Fiihr Factor, the podcast that shines a light on real stories, smart strategies, and the occasional hard truth about running a business. Think of this as your quick dose of clarity before your first cup of coffee. Let's go. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Melanie Johnson from Elite Online Publishing, author, a helper of other people that want to publish books. There's probably a better way to say that. Welcome, Melanie. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on the show today. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, how did you first publish your own book and then helped others, or how'd this go?
Actually, you know what? People don't ask me that. And actually, I did. So I was at a digital marketing conference. I kept going to their meetings, and they were, because it was the new age. I mean, YouTube had just come out and things were changing. And one of the things they taught us, one of the things that changed was Amazon now opened up and anybody could publish a book. So it was like the wild, wild west. Before, you always had to have a traditional publisher. So one of the things they trained us to do was to publish a book. And the very first book I published was I had a rental property down in the Dominican Republic. And I'm like, how do I differentiate myself with that? So I wrote a book on the best restaurants and activities to do in the DR. And that book still sells today. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I don't sell a lot, but I'll sell like maybe 10 books a year, and it's pretty outdated. And then, you kind of meet the same people. You're going to that conference several times a year, and there was like a group of us that we kind of started hanging out, and one of the people there was Jen Foster, and she said, hey, we should get together and we decided to do a book writing retreat down in the DR. And so we thought, we both didn't have kids during the month of June, so we came up with this plan to go on vacation but make money at the same time and have fun. So we did that, thought it'd be a fun one-off thing, came back, made the people best-selling authors, and then my phone started to ring. Hey, can you go to coffee with me? I didn't know you publish books. And I was like, yeah, I had no idea. So the next thing I knew, I said, hey, I'm getting a lot of inquiries. I think we have a business here. So we incorporated 10 years later, hundreds of authors later, all bestsellers, and here we are.
Okay, that's the thing. So I have so many questions I want to ask you, but the first one is, how do you make an author a bestseller?
Yeah, and that's a great question because a lot of authors want to know, well, what does it even mean to be a bestseller? Now, of course,
Ah,
we have our own secret sauce, but I tell people if you're going to go to all the trouble to write a book, you might as well do that extra step, that extra effort to run a campaign, an advertising campaign to make it successful and have it hit number one. Think of it like a movie, right? You do the movie, you produce it all, you get it in the can, it's ready to go, and if you don't push it to make it the most successful and get the most eyeballs on it, then what are you doing, right? All that effort went for nothing. So I always tell people it's a title that you get for the rest of your life. So from the rest of your life, not only will you be an author, you'll be announced everywhere you go. Every bio that you have on your LinkedIn profile is going to say number one best-selling author. And we strive for international, number one international best-selling author. And so that's kind of what it means. It means there was enough people that saw your book that bought it over a certain period of time. So what you want to do is drive sales during a certain time period. So if you have this drip where it's constantly getting sales, that's great, but it's not going to drive the numbers to propel it to number one. And what I tell people, it's like your book, when it goes to number one, you're going to be alongside of Dan Kennedy. Hey, we beat out Whoopi Goldberg with one of our books. The author was Shawnee Henderson. She was Shaquille O'Neal's former wife, and she was with a traditional publisher and had not hit number one. So they engaged us. We did a whole campaign, re-engaged her list, brought her more followers to her list, and then hit number one. And we thought, oh my gosh, you're up against Whoopi Goldberg. And Whoopi Goldberg was running some kind of promotion and lowered the price to her book, but we still beat her out. So think about if you're not even, someone like Shawnee Henderson, but your book, all of a sudden you have screenshots beating out the likes of these other number one bestsellers. Like we've beat out the 5 Languages of Love, right? The Habits of Efficiently, what's the book? I'm trying to think of the name of the
highly
effective
habits of
people.
highly.
Yes, we've beat that
Yeah.
book out. So suddenly now you have screenshots beating out these well-known authors. Don't you think that gives you some extra credibility? I think it does.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah. So, I've thought about, publishing as a credibility. mechanism, I think it could be a lead mechanism as well, correct?
For sure. And the other thing, why we were talking about bestseller, the other title to add to your name is to submit the book for book awards. Because if you submit it for book awards, we do this for our authors, and then you become an international award winning best-selling author. Right? And then what that means, I think that's just an extra level of caveat, because that means a select group of people who look at thousands of books every year are saying that your book qualifies to get their award. Whether, like, we had one author, they didn't get the gold award, but they got the silver award. And I say, well, if you go to the Olympics and you get the silver, that's still something to brag about. You know what I'm saying?
Darn right.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so I think when you're doing that effort, go that extra mile, and it's an investment, right? It's an investment of time, energy, effort, and money to get you there to do that extra marketing and advertising promotion. And then you had asked about using it for your business. So this is the misnomer. People are like, I'm going to sell thousands of books and I'm going to make my retirement off of this book. I'm like, no, I don't want to burst your bubble, but that's generally not true for probably 99% of the people. But what
Sure.
you had mentioned is that credibility piece. So when you use
Mhm.
that book, you can use it to get the credibility and use it as twofold. One, it's an advertising and marketing tool, as well as the credibility piece and opening doors for you. So, there's a few ways to use this. I'm not going to go, give you the whole, like, we have a whole book on this, but give you some keys. Like, we just have our new book out back there, Be Recognized. So, what we're doing is we're taking, like, your Dream 100 of people that you want to engage with, right? You're like, I don't know how to contact them. Like, they're not going to get my
Mhm.
emails. My emails are probably going to spam. So, if you get their addresses, you can send your book directly to their office with a personal note and say,
Yes.
hey, I think your business is great. Why don't you check out page 55 in my book? I think this would really benefit your business. If you like what you read, give me a call. Here's my contact number. Right? So now all of a sudden you spent maybe $5, $6 sending them a book, and you're in front of them, and they're not going to throw it away. It's not like a one piece or a letter, that they're just getting. Most of the time, I mean, everyone sees value with the book. It's going to sit on their desk. And the worst case is they're going to give it to someone else who may also be your client. Right? So
Yes.
that's a great way. I love this one story. There was an author who did that strategy. The prospect put it on their nightstand, never read the book, looked at it every single night, and then the prospect called the author and said, you know what, I honestly, I just haven't read your book. But you know what, I've been staring at it for a year, and I just really want to do business with you. Let's sign up and do business together.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so audiobook versus physical hard copy. What do people mostly buy now? How's that all work?
Physical copy still outweighs the audiobook. So I tell people you should start with the ebook and paperback minimum if you're publishing. Okay, that gives you the most versatility, that you've got an electronic version and you've got this physical book that you can do the strategy that I talked about. The audiobook I love because it's the most trending thing right now and the competition is lower. Right? There's not as many audiobooks out there still. And I love the fact that people don't think about, you can leverage that audiobook. You can get the MP3 of it, which is the digital copy, and you can use that so many different ways. Let's say you're at a speaking engagement, you can give away the MP3. Let's say you're doing a free plus shipping with your book. That could be the upsell. Hey, if you'd like the audiobook, it's just $10 or $7 or whatever you want to do. You can use it for bulk sales. Imagine giving your book to a company and saying, listen, for $10,000, you'll get 10,000 downloads of my audiobook that you can give away for Christmas gifts or use for your staff. You can use it in a bulk sales. Like, I always love this thing where, let's say you had a book about soup recipes, and then you could partner with Campbell Soups, and they could give away the MP3 with Campbell Soups with every so many purchases that they make. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different ways you can use it. So I always say I love it if you can do all four formats. They're not necessarily necessary, but if you're just starting in your business, just do the ebook and the paperback. And then at some point, add the audiobook if you can. But if you're somebody like we did, the NFL president of the Houston Texans here, we did his book. He needed all four formats. right? He needed to have that hardback that he could send to sponsors for the team because, that's a much higher level. So depending on where you are in your journey with your business, you may not need those formats, but you just might need those formats. And there's a strategy too. You can say, all right, I didn't do the hardback, but I'm going to just do a special edition of the hardback and just send it to certain people and do a run of the hardback book. So there's that too.
Hey, that's awesome. So I got to ask this question. My daughter's an English major, and she despises AI. And one of the things with AI is you don't really own the material if you use AI to assist your book. What's your POV on AI?
I'm a fan and then not a fan at the same time,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
I think you need to use it for, and I have a son that hates AI. He's like, it's taking everybody, it's taking creative people out of business and doesn't like that, like the
Mhm.
writers and things like that. I love it for an assistant. Right? It's great to get your ideas running. So, what we did, even with the book behind me, what we did is we took all the content that we had created, like let's say, like a podcast like this, uploaded it in there. We created a project so it wasn't searching outside and said, make the first draft of the book outline for us. So, boom, it gave us that outline. Then we could take it and edit from there. Then, okay, pull stories from the content we put in there that are my stories, really, right? And then
Yes,
put
for
that
sure.
into the chapters that you think are appropriate. So, it acted as an editor for me and like a VA that could do these things for me and get me started. But we have learned, like, if you're going to use it for your book, it really is the author needs to do 70%, right? 15% is on the front end, like I described, put the stuff in, and then 15% maybe on the back end that maybe it's helping you proof with Grammarly, because people don't realize they've been using AI forever. If you're using Grammarly, that's AI. Grammarly's been around for a long time. So do you not like Grammarly proofreading your things? So it's kind of that same thing, but it is that slippery slope. And I tell people never just take it, copy and paste. You really have to read through it. When we gave it some leeway, it started making up stories and hallucinating. And we're like, no, that person doesn't exist. That was not in the documents because we were experimenting with it. So I think you have to embrace it because it's not going away. There's where I like to use it for our business is really in business tools and streamlining our processes and our systems. So for instance, let's say you're an author. Take your book and put it into we've got different, in my book, Be Recognized, we talk about different applications that you can use, but you can take it and turn your book into blogs from there. You can take your content of your book
Yes.
and turn it into articles. You can turn it into social media posts. You can pull relevant quotes from it. And again, you look at it and go, oh, that's terrible, do it over again. But it gives you brilliant ideas that you can massage from there and edit from there. So it really takes, that's why I'm such a believer, even more than I was before, about having a book. It's like going slow to go fast. Get that book written. You've got all this content in one place. Not only is it going to give you credibility in the marketplace, a new advertising and marketing tool, you now have something you can pass off to a social media manager, a CMO, and they can run with years worth of content just from that book.
100%. I completely agree. That's the thing. And you've got this depth of content that you could use on every marketing platform you ever want to use it on.
Right.
And that's going to increase your SEO for your website and all the things that you're trying to do and the visibility, right? And also point people back to the book so maybe some more people buy it or look at it at least, right? So
Sure.
there's
And
value there.
Amazon gives you SEO. I mean, if I put your name in right now and you were an author on Amazon, it would pop up. It would have you, your book, and then from there, there's what's called an Amazon author page, and it'll give me your bio and any other books that you've written all in one place. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's free SEO for eternity as long as Amazon's around.
Yes. Wow. And I also like what you said. I think that's the thing with AI in general, whether you're writing a book or whatever, use it for your organizational stuff.
Mm.
Use it to, and that can be chopping stuff up into smaller pieces or organizing it into like, oh, I've got his, for me, I've got, all this history of things that I've done in all these different
Yeah.
states with all these different people. Okay. How does that in a book? I don't know. Here, AI, does this, any of this stuff make sense together? And, you know,
Exactly.
let it try. Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
also what it does too, I'm finding people that are probably in our age bracket that are going through some transitions, right? They've been doing what they've been doing for a long time. They're looking maybe to do something different. And what I want to give the advice that I talk about in my book, Be Recognized, is developing your personal brand. So one of the great ways to develop that personal brand is again to start with a book. Yes, it takes longer. It's a lot of effort, no doubt about it. Like, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I got to do a book," and it's like this giant thing. But, we can make it easier with different tools and strategies that we have. Like we have a VIP day, book creation day that we do. But that book is going to start your personal brand, whether you work for a big company or you're trying to transition into something else like a new field and start a new product. It's the best way to do it. And personal brand is what the future is. You've got to have a personal brand. Even if you've been working for a company forever, we've seen layoffs, we've seen CEOs, presidents
Yes.
suddenly, poof, you're gone. And if they just know you as working for that company, they don't really know who you are, then it's a much tougher road than if you have developed your personal brand, not just with a book, but also online and your social media.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
your personal brand is not just your company, it's who you are. And the person behind the company or the person leading the company, the founder, that can really mean a lot more to people than just a company
And
by itself.
I would say we didn't get that for a long time. I think we were hiding, and I used to be in the television business, right? I owned a couple TV stations. I was a news anchor. I was out front. And I don't know when I got this business, I was like, I'm going to hide behind the curtain. And then we kept struggling. Well, are we promoting the business? Are we promoting our personal brand? And we had this struggle with it. And then finally we're like, no, it's the personal brand. We have to have our personal brand out there because once they get to know you, and doing podcasts like this is so important. I get the question all the
Yeah.
time, okay, I've done the book, what's next? Can you get me on podcast? And for a long time we said no, and now we are doing that. We're doing automated podcast booking for people because that's what you need to do because now you're going to create that asset. So like I've talked about my book here, it's promoting the book, it's promoting my brand. But now working with you, you even told me, Melanie, I'm going to give you clips from this. I'm going to give you a transcript from this, right? So I can pull quotes from this. I can make social media posts from this, and I'll have video clips from it. And then it gives you credibility that, wow, somebody who had a podcast thought you were cool enough and important enough and had enough credibility to have you on their show. Like you're just not
Yeah.
some Joe Schmo, right?
100%. And there again, you got all this content you can use in all these different places. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So you're a former television person, as am I. Now I was running television station, not on the air, although I ended up on the air for good reasons. But tell me, how does the TV business equate to owning your own business? Any similarities or any
Oh,
observations?
yeah. I mean, we started, same as this, I started this business from scratch, started the TV station from scratch. And, you do everything when you're starting a business. No one knows who you are. So you're trying to get your name out there. And when you start a business, it's one of the most challenging things you do, but it's one of the most exhilarating things that I remember that I did as well. And back in the day, we went on the air in 1993. So
Mm.
TV was still a thing, right? We had
Yeah.
eyeballs that were watching that. The internet really was not around and there was value to it. And by the time I got out of the TV business in 2008, 2009, YouTube was out, and I thought everybody can have their own TV station. So I thought then that TV was going to be a dinosaur and was dying. It's just been dying a really slow death in the meantime. I think, the thing that I've learned from TV that equates to publishing is really it's advertising and marketing, right? We sold
Mm.
advertising and marketing to people to get
Yep.
eyeballs. And that's the same thing when you're publishing a book, you're trying to get those eyeballs and get the notoriety. The thing is, a TV commercial comes and goes. It's gone. And they
Yes.
might have seen it unless you were like, a famous commercial, like, a Life cereal commercial or something that really had legs to it. Like, Mikey took mine, but you're
Yeah.
old enough to remember that.
Or where's the beef?
Yeah, where's the beef? Yeah, that's another memorable one. So those would come and go, right? And if they weren't there and saw it at that moment, it was gone. And it's kind of the same thing with social media, right? You're putting things on Instagram and TikTok, and it's very rare I mean, I'll go back, a couple people I went back and I'm like, oh, let's watch what they did like in the last month, maybe I'll see. But if it was a year ago, I don't see any of those posts. They're gone. But the
Yes.
book has legs. That book is always there, it's always relevant, and it doesn't disappear into the abyss. So I think that's the difference, but it's still the same mindset, right? Of how to get yourself out there, and you have to be brave. You have to put yourself out there. That's the one thing I find with authors, whether they're just starting a business or they're the president of an NFL team. Are people going to like my book? Is it going to be good?
Yes.
Should I do it? And it's vulnerability because you're really putting yourself out there and you're like, what if people don't like it? What if I get bad reviews? And, so it is scary, but you just have to charge through. I mean, if we stayed afraid, then we wouldn't be anywhere, especially as business owners. You have to just step out of that box and put it out there and see what happens.
Yes, fear, false expectations appearing real in most cases. Although I don't care whether you're a writer or you're writing music or you're, whatever that is, any creative element, you're an artist of some sort, you're always going to put yourself out there, right? Like there's always a risk. And if they don't like it, screw them.
Yeah. I mean, I remember J-Lo came out with that movie. She'd been super successful and then it totally bombed. Right. So, I mean, but she'd had a string of successes before that. So you just don't know. You just have to put your creativity out there. And if it works, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. Go back, reinvent, do it again and see what happens. And each level gets you, takes you to another step to do it again and get better and better. Alex Hormozy, his first book was pretty successful, but then his fourth book, huge, like broke all the records, biggest book launch ever. So he learned from each one that he did and strategized to make it better. I mean, I think he had over $120 million book launch.
Wow. But the first one wasn't that successful.
Right. It was just okay, And most
Okay,
of it was. I remember my son turned me on to him. He's like, do you know who Alex Hormozy is? I'm like, no, never heard of him,
Yeah. Now, what's the deal with the thing on his nose, by the way? Can you explain that to me?
Oh, yeah. That's to help you breathe better. Most people wear it when they sleep, not during the day. So he must have like a deviated septum or something. And it's kind of part of his personal brand now. Like, you know him for wearing wife beaters, shorts, and the nose thing. And he's such a good-looking guy.
I thought it looks like a Breathe Right strip, but is that what it really is?
It is. It's a Breathe Right strip. That's what it is. It's like an
Yeah,
industrial version of it.
Okay, so how does one start if you're going to write something? How do you start?
Yeah.
Just an idea?
Well, yeah. So I'll say we do a VIP book creation day, and authors will come to us, and they have like 10 ideas. Maybe I should write about my life. Maybe I should write about this part of my business. Maybe I should write about that. And then they're trying to hone in what is the best message for them. And so the one tip is always do the money book first. Don't do the legacy life story if you're in business. Do the money book. What is the thing that you want to be known for? What is the thing that you want to talk about on stages? What is the thing you want to be interviewed about on podcast? What makes the most sense to roll into your business that you can get clients for based on what you're talking about? And then even what has the most revenue for me? What is the thing that I think that, like if it's coaching for you, coaching and then the type of clients, let's say, well, I like to, when I coach financial advisors, that's my best client. Well, let's have that be your target audience. Let's write the book for that financial advisor, right? And gear it more towards them. It still can be, they're like, oh, but I still have other clients. You still can be broad, but we say, okay, who is the exact person you're writing the book for? And they'll say, okay, it's a financial advisor. He's been in the business for 10 years. He's married. He has 2 kids. He lives in the suburbs, and you get this whole profile. So as you're writing it, whenever you get stuck, like when we do our book creation VIP day, we'll say, let's say that's you, Warren, we'll say, well, what does Warren want to know? What does he want to know that you have? Oh, you know what? If I answer the question for Warren, this is what I would tell him. Right? So it makes it so much easier of where you can start from. And again, this is where you can embrace AI, load up a bunch of your stuff of things that you've written about, load up your website and ask those questions to them. What would be my money book? What's the best topic that I should write based on my ideal client? And then it'll give you some ideas and you can filter through those.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't think about honing in that much, but it's just like with any you're thinking about this just like any marketing you would do for your business.
Right.
Right. Who is my ideal customer profile? Like in on the television station, we literally had a person, a lady that was whatever, 48 years old, that had two kids, and she lived in the suburbs, or maybe even out in the country, because the TV station was not a big town. And then, oh wait, is this story going to appeal to her? How do we appeal to her? So it's the same idea.
Yeah, and I've been doing these profiles for companies where I'll come up with their ideal person and I'll say, like, it's Laura, this is her thing, but then going even deeper, where does she hang out? Who does she listen to? What podcast is she listening to? What, media is she listening to? Where is she going? All of those types of things. So you're doing this in-depth research so that you have even more information when you're getting started. And it's the same thing with the book. And what I love about when you do this for a book, you're answering kind of the same questions that you're doing when you're coaching clients, right? What's the biggest hurdle that
Yeah.
clients have? What are all these things? So you're taking that same content and you're just expounding on it. So another great way is, let's say, Warren, you're going to have a meeting with one of your coaching clients. You're asking them all these questions, and they're giving you verbally all this information. You record that for them. You have a transcript of it now. Then put that in
Yes.
AI, and then you've started the bulk of the book. Right? This is the part of the book that you have. Here's all the problems they're facing. So I tell people, every time you're doing anything, record the conversation, record the sales calls. If you're on stage speaking, record that. So now you have this content that you can pull from, and then it's easier to turn that into a book. I see so many missed opportunities where a speaker comes into my networking group and they don't record it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you could have had how many social media posts, plus content for articles, plus content that could go into a new book for you.
Yes.
It's crazy. You've got to think that all the way through. But as a marketer, that's what I think of. That's what my company does. We're thinking of this whole process, not just a book. We're thinking about the whole thing, the whole business that you're running and the future that you want to have.
Brilliant. That's the thing. I think people don't think about this because this costs money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this as a real investment in your personal brand and actually in your business,
Yeah.
you can get a return on investment.
Exactly. So you think, because the book never goes away. Like the social media you're paying for every month is going to go away. That book,
Yeah.
it's expensive. It's an investment and it's time consuming, but you have it for perpetuity. And what's kind of even cool, I tell people, you look down the road, your great great grandchildren will have it. Like,
Isn't that cool?
yeah,
Too, like, that's a great point. It's like, hey, something you want to pass on to your kids and give them some wisdom, and just say, hey, look, yeah, my dad or my mom was an author and they wrote this thing and it's really cool, and they can go back to that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And even as if your expertise, but so this is the other thing I tell people, because they're like, people who are like, I want to tell my story, but then I want to tell about my business. I love to marry those two things together. So you talk about your personal journey that gives you examples of the business expertise along the way. You're telling people how maybe you struggled when you started and then you had the aha moment that turned into this brilliant thing that's now your company, right? So you're telling your story mixed in with it. And that's really the secret sauce that we do when we help people write their book, is including those stories that people get to know you. Because when they know you, they feel like, oh, I already have a relationship with him. I know this guy, right? Because you've told some of your stories in there. And not all the stories have to be about you, because if you're struggling, I say, how many times have you listened to a minister that they're telling stories about somebody else that maybe is in the news, or someone that wrote them a letter? Tony Robbins is
Yeah.
famous for telling stories about everybody else. He tells about himself, but they pull all kinds of other people in there to use as examples, because people know who they are, they relate to them. But really, that's the secret, is marrying those two together, getting people to know you with your personal brand and stories in with your expertise.
That's brilliant. Okay, so let me ask you, you kind of fell into this business.
Yeah.
How did you build it up, and what do you want it to ultimately be?
So we were trained at the time 10 years ago to be everywhere. So we decided we were going to be everywhere. So every social media platform that was out there, we were on it. I remember going to some marketing thing. They're like, who has a YouTube channel? And I'm like, I do. And there was maybe like 20% of the people that had a YouTube channel in there at the time. has a
Sure,
podcast?
sure.
I do. So we started a podcast. No one knew what a podcast was. I was calling PR agencies and they're like, what's a podcast? I'm like, it's kind of like a radio show, trying to explain it to them. So my theme for 2026 coming in, I'm dating the show, but is really quality. So to take it to that next level, I think we've mastered that. We have tons of content out there and we've been doing everything. Now I want to take it to the next level with quality. And the next level for us too is helping clients with AI strategies. We do training. We have a boot camp that we do 90 minutes every week and then implement different things. So I really feel like we've been on the cutting edge of that. And our book kind of explains, Be Recognized explains some of that. So it's helping
Sure.
companies do what we just talked about. How do you take your content, repurpose it with all these new tools, develop your personal brand, whether it be from a book or from just taking what you have and repurposing it in other ways?
Yeah, that leveraging that content is so critical because I talk to business owners and they're like, it's too much. I can't do all the social stuff. And it's like, you got to take what you're already doing
Yes.
and leverage it 10 different ways. That's the only way, because otherwise you can't do it. You could have a full-time job doing blogs and social posts and all this stuff if you're not efficient.
So think about like this podcast interview, because this is why we started offering podcast interviews. So now all of a sudden, your audience is going to get to know me. So now, or we
Yeah.
use this is kind of not a good word, but I've hijacked your audience, right? So now I've hijacked your audience. They're going to get to know me, hear my message, all of that. So I get that.
Yes.
Then you're going to do clips. I'm going to do clips. So now I don't have to take time and just hold that camera in front of me and do some clips. I've already got me saying all
Yes.
this great stuff that I can get
Yes.
probably 20 clips about this. And the thing that people don't realize is I can rerun this over and over again. This will last, if my core business is publishing, I can run this. I can pull a podcast that I did 5 years ago and still pretty relevant of what I'm talking about today. So don't forget that once you have the asset, always keep, using it. And then now I'm going to have my team take different quotes from it and create a couple articles from it as well, right? And maybe turn it into our newsletter. So I've now got it in my emails as well. So how cool is that? So I think it's really important, not just the book, but to have a plan after the book to get on podcast too.
Well, I mean, if one thing is clear, it's that you are a marketer and you believe in marketing, you know how to market. And I think if you're going to be a business person, I don't know who it was, so forgive me, person that I'm misquoting probably, but I heard it like, it's like, if you're looking around in your company and you don't have any salespeople, you're the salesperson.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a marketing team, you're the marketing team. So like, better figure it out, because if we're not marketing ourselves and we're not selling, we're screwed. We can go work on our computer all day long,
Yes.
and that's neat and all, but you're never going to make any money.
Exactly. That's what Grant Cardone once said. He's like, nobody knows who you are. Like, you think they saw that post? Like, run it again. Nobody saw it. Like, maybe 20 people saw it. And so I went, yeah, that was kind of our social media. Like, not many people are really seeing us. We need to send it again. What's your open rate on your emails? Well, okay, rerun, send the email again. Just don't include the people that opened it. Send it to all the people that you sent it to before and see if they opened
Yes.
it. So, yeah, and even Alex Hormozy, he had launched this book, right? $100 million, $120 million. He was speaking somewhere, and he asked the group, how many of you already knew who I was? And not very many people raised their hand, right? How many people heard of me in the last 90 days? And then another smattering of people opened, and then how many people, this is the first time you've ever heard of me? And then a bunch of people raised their hand. So he had the biggest book launch ever, but still he goes, this is my point. He said, even though I had this huge book launch, there's a whole nother group of people that still don't even know who I am.
Isn't that something? Yeah, and these are people that are relatively famous. So like
throwing tons of money at promotions and marketing. Yeah.
And so you always got to be at top of mind.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one more question, then I'm going to ask you my 3 speed round questions. Okay. So get ready.
I hope I passed that test.
So the one question is, if you're going to do something different as you were building up your business, what would be one thing you would do different?
Have less fear, step into it more aggressively sooner, I think, is what I would do. There were things that I wanted to, I'll give you an example. We did a webinar, first webinar. We bought somebody's course, followed the instructions. There were a lot of holes in the course. We're like, well, it's not telling us how to do this or how to do that. So we did it, and we lost connection in the middle of it. We had to, so whatever audience we had was gone, had to do it over again, get back on there. Hey, we're back. And then it just messed with us mentally, and we're like, well, we're never doing that again. But if we would have kept doing webinars, let's say we did one a month or one a quarter back then, which was like probably 9 years ago, think of where maybe our business would have been. Like if we would have mastered that funnel and those webinars, but it was fear that we failed. We didn't felt like we did a great job, and mostly it was tech issues, and we didn't have a good enough mentor to follow the system. So my advice is, when you fail, it's okay. Do it again. Don't hide in the corner.
That's great. I love that. Okay, so 3 questions. Here we go.
Okay.
If you're an animal, what animal would you be?
Lately, I'm going to say, I have my son's cat here. I'm going to say a cat. It's living the life of leisure, man. Everything is taken care of it. I'm like,
Well, they have the catitude.
What's that?
They have the catitude,
Yes,
right? It's
yeah.
like, hey, I might come see you, I might say screw you, and I might scratch you too, or bite. Just depends on the day and how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I'll sit by you, but I might not, that thing. And I go into my son's house. He lives not too far from me, and he has 2 dogs. And I go over there, and it's like major attack of love and all of this stuff. And I'm like, it's just too much. It's too much. You're almost bowling me over, I'm like, because life is so, I picked the cat because it's chill, and life with business and an entrepreneur, you're really, going like this all the time, and it's high intense energy. So yeah, it'd be nice just to have that chill vibe
A
for a
little
while.
chill,
Yeah,
sit in the sun by the window for a while. It's
exactly.
gonna be
And
okay,
then bounce
right?
back out of it, and then go to the dog mode.
Yeah, and then run around,
Yeah,
get some catnip going. Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Next question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, just the best person I can. I used to write this down. I want to be the best daughter, the best mom, the best friend, the best sister, the best niece, all of those things.
Yes, that's beautiful. And then the last one, what are people going to say about you when you're gone?
Oh, he was always so positive and so energetic and always lifted me up.
Yeah, you have great energy. It's funny. I was at a conference, Action Coach conference actually, and they had a lady there talking about protecting your energy.
Yeah.
And then, because you got to be, if you're going to have good energy and you're going to be out in the world with good energy, you better protect your energy as well, because it's a great thing. That's how you. And then when you show up positively and you show up like you're showing up, it makes all the difference.
Yeah. And in our business, as you know, you're going to get no's and you're going to get yeses. And when you get those no's, you get that, oh. But then you got to bounce back and go, okay, I got to get my energy back up, be back in the golden circle, I think as she called it, right? To have that golden dome over you, to stay positive for the next person that does want to work with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that today. Somebody had signed with me, and then they're like, oh, I really need a budget for editing. I didn't realize that. I need to put this on hold for right now, get my editing done first. I'm like, gosh darn it, I thought she was ready to go. And then the next thing I know, we sold one of our podcasting tours. So it's like, you get the yo-yo effect when you're in business for yourself.
Yes, and it's so true that in business, I've worked in all these jobs at corporate, and we made a big sale, we made $1 million sale, whatever, and that was great. But in business now, it's like the highs are higher and the lows are lower. I made a $50,000 sale. That's as more exciting than the $1 million thing, because
Yes.
it's like, yeah. Or meanwhile, if you had a client that canceled or got mad or something happened, you fall deeper in the ditch.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to have that talent to pull yourself out of that ditch, right?
Yeah, you got to be resilient. You got
Yes.
to have a positive mindset, and if you do all those things, and keep your energy up, then you're just gonna crush it.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Can't be any other way. Well, hey, Melanie, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a blast. I can't wait to see what you have coming up next. I know 2026 is going to be your year of excellence, and I'm really cool that you already have that on the map.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And I will give you a link. I have a free gift for your audience. It's called the Strategic Writing System book. If they're starting to write their book, it has a lot of different strategies that we use. And then I can
Oh,
give you a
awesome.
link for, we're running our podcasting, getting booked on, interviewed on podcast. I can share that link with you as well.
Well, that'd be fabulous. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great chat.
Yeah. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate you. Great having you on the show. And your energy is amazing too. Anyone, that works with you is going to be uplifted and be back in that golden circle, golden dome of good energy.
Well, that's very kind. I'm blessed to have really, really good clients and work with really great people, and I meet amazing people all the time. So I'm very thankful.
Awesome.
Cheers. One of the key takeaways from today that I really want to stand on to emphasize is, hey, look, being a business owner is about marketing and it's about sales. You got to do those things first. If you look around and there's no marketing person or salesperson, that's you. If you spend your time typing on a computer and doing stuff and busy work, you're not going to make it. You got to be able to sell, you got to be able to market, you got to do it efficiently and diligently, and it's got to be the first thing you do every day. It's all about attitude and positive attitude and energy. And we're going to have high highs and low lows as business owners. Here's the thing. We got to get out of the ditch as fast as we can. We have to have mechanisms to do that, to get back to the highs. The highs are higher, the lows are lower. And if we can show up with positive attitude and positive energy, we're gonna succeed. It's interesting thinking about charting a course for the next year, next 10 years. A lot of folks don't do this, but it's go time sitting here in the middle of November thinking about 2026 and what we're going to do in 2026 is the right thing to be doing right now. Finish year strong, but we got to go for next year. We got to plan, have a vision board, and execute.
Liked what you heard? Let's make it real. Schedule your free coaching session today at sugarland.actioncoach.com.